I had such a hard time creating this video this week. Welcome to week 2 of my 2026 self-portrait challenge. This week, I worked from a simple selfie and created a watercolor portrait. When I sat down, I thought this would be a really great session. I was feeling pumped. I was looking forward to this self-portrait. I was hoping I would have one of those calm, focused painting days. But once I started, it felt different. As I painted, my body and mind didn't feel connected at all. My hand was not in sync with what I was imagining. And the whole process took way more effort than I expected. I procrastinated on this one until the last minute. I was tired, and once I started, I didn't feel like painting anymore. But I did make a commitment to paint one self-portrait a week, every week this year. And even though the process felt arduous, I'm glad I showed up. Let me show you how I created this portrait. Even when the likeness isn't perfect, getting the big shapes down gives the portrait structure. That's something I rely on, especially on low energy days. Because I'm drawing freehand, you'll sometimes see me use my pencil to measure the placement of features. Watercolor doesn't always match the picture in my head. On days like this, I try to let the paint do its thing and respond to it instead of fighting it. And layering can often correct the final color and bring it closer to what I was going for. I'm including the full process, even the awkward layers, because that's real art practice. Not every stage is pretty, and I want to normalize that. You'll see moments where the brushwork looks hesitant. That's the mind-body disconnect I mentioned. It happens, and it's part of the reality of painting when your energy is off. Not every portrait needs to be a masterpiece. Some weeks teach technique, and some weeks teach persistence, and both are valuable. If I were to paint this again, I would try to be more patient. This portrait took me less than 2 hours from start to finish. If I were to slow down a little, I'd be able to appreciate how the colors shift once they dry. It probably would have alleviated some of my frustrations. When I painted this yesterday, I was frustrated with the results. After stepping away from it and coming back to it today, I now appreciate it. So this is week 2, not a portrait I imagined, but a portrait that reflects the reality of showing up on a day where I was exhausted. And honestly, that's part of why I'm doing this challenge. To see what happens across 52 very real weeks. If you're working on your own creative goals this year, I hope this encourages you to keep going even when the flow isn't there. Those days count too. See you next week for portrait number 3.